right.
Coach Crandor was an hour and some changes late, but now here's Coach anyway.
I'll have you know, I was only like 35 minutes late.
I believe it is now 40 minutes that we're starting.
It's like 39 minutes late. Not even 40.
Coach is running off of coach time here.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the final 2019 episode that covers this shitty season we had. Not, well, you know, we're gonna do the off season, but I mean,
yeah, this, you know, the last episode covering the 2018 season.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So,
welcome to our 2018 season wrap-up show, brought to you by nobody but sponsors.
Brought to you by Nobody, easily one of our favorite sponsors of all time. Nobody,
Dude.
making nothing happen.
Can we be sponsored by Bratwurst because it's delicious?
Dude, I would love to be sponsored by Bratwurst.
Right?
I'm there.
I want to try to find the most NFL style sponsors if we're gonna do a sponsorship.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like Bratwurst,
Light.
Foam Fingers, Bud Light. Man, do I hate Bud Light? Oh, great, I can't say that.
Well, there goes that sponsorship. Thanks, Chris.
Yep, there you go. Thanks, Coach. That's it's over
But
now.
Miller Lite, Coors Light, still on the table. I don't like light beers that much. Like, they're okay, but
I don't
Why can't
like
we-
beers at all?
Why can't we just brew our own brew and then sponsor ourselves?
Sell it. Yeah, no,
We
I
get
like
filthy
that.
rich because the markup on alcohol is ridiculous. Take this from a 14-year bartender.
Well, that's pretty good. All we need
Yeah.
is starting capital. It should be like maybe roughly around $1 million to get
If
like
you-
a brewery up
There
and
you go.
running. Yeah,
if you're
that
a
should be good.
millionaire
Yeah.
and you want to help us out, please.
Yeah, just spare just one little million. You know,
Have we got
Yeah.
a deal for you?
You invest your money and you might get your money back.
We've
mean, tell you
got
the truth,
the
it's probably a
greatest investment opportunity of all time. Any other football podcasts would not be this bold.
Exactly.
Boy, have we got a deal for you, Coach.
No other football podcast would beg for money live in an episode. Yeah.
Let's hop
yeah.
to it for
All
for the Super Bowl.
So
It was very bad.
it was bad.
Yeah, it was
Woo!
terrible. Like literally, I think every aspect of that Super Bowl was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game was bad. The commercials were like, whatever, and also weirdly racist against robots for some reason. The halftime show not only was bad, but it was just an outright betrayal.
A lie.
And yeah, like it was like it was a bait and switch, which was just basically just disrespectful.
Mhm.
And then and Adam Levine decided to get naked. I don't know what the hell happened.
There was even a point during the halftime show where he was doing the moves like Jagger, and I was like, dude, are they gonna bring out Mick Jagger? Like he's gonna start dancing? But no,
Yeah.
he didn't. Nothing like that. That would
And
have
also-
been too much money.
Gotta say, he was up there dancing with Big Boy.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. He does not have the moves like Jagger. He was awkwardly rocking side to side and kind of had his knees bent, and that was his
Got
moves.
the
That was
moves
it.
like a
How-
2019 prom king.
Yeah, moves like a geriatric. But, like,
California.
Where was Andre? You can't have Big Boy and not have Andre. And then also, why was Big Boy there in the first? I think he was there for, without exaggeration, maybe 3 seconds.
We had no Andre, no Mick Jagger, no SpongeBob. It was a disaster.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, no, it was.
A disaster.
Okay, if we're gonna start off with a halftime show, which perhaps
Mhm.
we should.
We
like,
already have.
I just want to say, like, I'm not kidding when I say it's like a betrayal, basically. Because okay, let me take you through the steps of what was leading. Because I've seen people on the internet, like on Twitter, being like, "Why the fuck did anyone expect them to do? I don't even understand. What's Sweet Victory?" Like, okay,
That was me.
here's the thing. Let's take you through the timeline.
All right.
Earlier in the year, Steven Hillenburg dies, creator of SpongeBob. Fans on the internet, make a petition, just a fun little petition as like a tribute to Steven Hillenburg to say like they should play Sweet Victory at the halftime show, right? Because Sweet Victory was an episode of SpongeBob where they play this big orchestral number at the end of the episode in the Bubble Bowl, the Super Bowl, and it's dope and it's awesome and it's great. It's one of the best episodes of SpongeBob, straight up. So it would be like a fun little tribute, right?
Yeah.
But then that petition got 1.2 million signatures. So it turns out there was an audience for it. And then the NFL caught wind of this and was like, you know what? Yeah, I think we're going to start doing this. So they start leaking rumors that it's going to happen. They hire the Squidward voice actor to announce. Then it's all but confirmed the night before the Super Bowl that they are in fact doing Sweet Victory at the halftime show. Get everybody pumped about it. And then they go on stage, they play literally the opening horns of Sweet Victory, and then jabate us with Travis Scott doing Sicko Mode. I just not like, here's the thing. It's not just okay, they tried to be funny. It's just disrespectful. Like, this was meant to be in tribute to the man who so many of us grew up with, Steven Hillenburg's work, and instead they just basically just said "fuck you." I don't know, man. It's just like the NFL does a lot of things that I think shits on the next generation of viewers, and I don't know why, because they're not going to have any money soon because young people aren't watching football as much.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm not outraged at all by it. Like, as someone who doesn't watch SpongeBob, which is me,
Yeah.
I knew, of course, I've seen some episodes of SpongeBob. I wasn't a devout follower of SpongeBob, but to play devil's advocate, as always, in NFL's defense, they didn't have to do anything, especially if it was spurred from like a fan movement. But if they alluded to doing something because of the fan stuff and then they didn't deliver, like, I can kind of see the disappointment, but I certainly am not like outraged by it.
Well, that's the thing, is that the NFL, yes, of course, didn't have to do it, but then they also didn't have to spend weeks leaking info about it as if they were going to do it so that they could pull some joke at the end, because like that's the disrespectful part. Like, literally, if they had done nothing, that would have been better. Like, if they had just not even, if they not leaked any of the rumors, if they did not play the thing at the beginning, or they just outright said, "Nah, we're not doing it," give us a reason. There's not enough time to orchestrate, a performance of this, like, something like that. Whatever. That literally would have been 100 million times better than doing what they did.
Yeah.
And it just made an already lackluster halftime show hateable. Like, I hate that halftime show. It's the worst one I've ever seen.
Speaking of lackluster, let's talk about the football game.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
Yes. Lowest scoring Super Bowl in history, by the way.
Yeah. It went back to earlier in the season where I said the Rams were overrated. And there's a point where I was like, all right, they're starting to win a little bit. Maybe they got it going. But no, there it was. The overrated Rams. I knew it. I knew they were overrated when they got shut out by the Packers at halftime. I was like, no team. There are teams that see our defense. They're like, dude, nice. We can finally get some points this week against the Packer defense. Like, our defense is bad. And we played them, and we looked like a top 5 defense. And I was like, this isn't right. This shouldn't be happening. Like, what? We're in Los Angeles as well. Like, I don't get it. So when this happened, I was kind of like, yeah, this seems right.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. So
counterpoint, though.
Okay.
Counterpoint. The Rams. Here's the thing. The Rams played a shitty game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
they did still hold the Super Bowl winning Patriots to 13 points, which is the lowest that it's like, again, this is the lowest scoring Super Bowl altogether. Like they straight up held Tom Brady to 13 points.
Well, I think Wade Phillips runs a good defense. I think that's the main reason why. Like Wade Phillips is one of the best defensive coordinators.
Yeah, but I'd say McVay is probably among the like top 3 or 5 of best offensive minds in the league right now.
Yeah.
And I would also say that Jared Goff didn't look that good.
You know, I was going to bring that up, but you know who Jared Goff reminds me of?
Ryan Gosling.
A worse Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I mean, I could kind of see that, honestly.
Yeah. Their plays were like, I think there was one with Tony Romo where he was like, the guy's like wide open on the deep route, and he just throws it to like a guy that's covered in the middle of the field, and it's an incomplete pass. And it's like it feels like he has no awareness to what's going on. And he has that face of like he's not even aware. Like whenever you see his mugshot type thing, he's always like not aware of anything, and he looks like he's driving his pickup truck to go like play with his dog by the lake. That's just the impression that I get. You're down by the river.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not even just this game. Like it was the last couple of games of the regular season and a couple of games in the playoffs. He was not looking, amazing.
It leads me to believe like that McVay's system is more of what made him play well, more than Jared Goff is what made Jared Goff play well.
Yeah, so there was this one thing that happened in the game strategically that was, I think, important. So essentially, eventually McVay kind of rolled the dice. Because I'm sure you guys have heard the reports, because this happens on almost every team, especially with young quarterbacks. But the mic cuts off at 15 seconds, right, on the play clock. So when that play clock is draining, when it's down to 15 seconds, that's it. Mic's out. QB has to make the decisions. So what usually happens is, and I think this often happens why the Rams take so many like first half timeouts, is because within that 15 seconds, like they get up to the line quick, and they have McVay read the field in addition to Jared Goff and tells him what protections to make and who's coming in and who's not and whatnot. So later on in the game, McVay decided that what they would do is they would take every play down to that 15 seconds when the mic's cut off and let Goff go at the line and make the protections, make all the adjustments and stuff, audible the plays and stuff. Because what he was gambling on was essentially that the Patriots defense needed Bill Belichick more than the Rams offense needed Sean McVay.
Right.
And
easy chick.
And I think it turns out that his gamble was wrong, because the Patriots were I don't know if you guys were seeing, but they were like swapping coverages constantly.
Yeah.
Like they were always audibling. They were disguising shit constantly. It was it was a great defensive performance from them, honestly, in general.
Well, they're just a well-oiled, coached machine. Like they know what they're doing. They know what to look for. And then I saw somebody else say it, but I was bringing up the Packers blitzing him, and that was one of the reasons we did so well. We stopped the run, we blitzed him, and that's what the Bears did. The Bears just stopped the run. They made Goff throw, and then you blitz him, and he's like under pressure. He can't do anything. And that's kind of what the Patriots did. Like they always had pressure on him. Yeah. And Gurley didn't do anything. CJ didn't do anything. Like they had no run game, and it's just like, well, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
So
I've never seen a more, I guess it didn't feel like the Super Bowl. Like the crowd wasn't into it. Which you can't really blame on the crowd, because the game was just awful. Like just watching parts of that. And which we of course all were on Rob's stream for. I was there for most of the second half and the halftime show. Like just watching that show, and I was just like punt. Like, is this a Super Bowl or like are we looking at preseason? Like,
are we watching the Bengals versus the Raiders or something?
I was like, this is Bush League terrible.
You know what? Similarly, I actually want to piggyback off of what you just said because I saw a lot of people on the internet being like, "Well, you know what? Like defensive games are exciting too." And I happen to like that defensive performance. It was great. It was fun to watch, and I don't see why people really want the offense so bad. And that's why the NFL is changing the sport for the worse. Okay. First, I just want to say, as a person who really enjoys watching the offensive side of the ball, I do enjoy watching defenses. But when a defensive battle means that each offense goes 3 and out on every fucking one of their drives and just punts, then and with no sacks or turnovers or anything, like literally nothing really happened. Then it's boring. I'm sorry, it's just boring. It's a shitty, boring game. It's good. Like, granted, yes, I guess that is good defense. You held the Rams to 3.
Yeah,
but ultimately, it was fun to watch defense.
Yeah,
like I'm all for fun to watch defense. I'll like that, but
let's not get it twisted here. It's not like it's not as if it's not as if like the Patriots were just shutting down. They've got the most amazing defense, and they managed to hold the Rams somehow to 3 points. The Rams were playing terrible. Both teams were playing terrible. This was not just a product of primarily 2 amazing defenses just duking it out. This wasn't like, I don't even remember the last defensive Super Bowl we had, but it just lacked on everything. There was nothing special about this Super Bowl, and in a weird way, in kind of a weird way, I say that without getting too philosophical, this is the type of Super Bowl that the NFL deserved to get after what happened to the Saints. And again, everyone knows that I hate the Saints. Okay, like I absolutely hate New Orleans. I hate them, but as a football fan, no fan should ever have to lose like that. And I can't help but feel that we would have gotten the Super Bowl that everyone wanted, especially Rob, if the Saints had gotten there. I mean, it's like it's hard to play the what if game, of course. I mean, it's fun too, but it's also there's no point to it. I do think in some weird way that the proverbial scales of justice sort of tipped into to punish the NFL with like, okay, well, you guys blew it. It was, I mean, everyone in the world saw that it was pass interference and that should have been called, and the Saints should have been playing. So this is what you get. You get the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen by far, and
it would have been a lot better of a Super Bowl with the Saints in it.
Oh yeah,
like, no doubt.
It would have been just offense. Well, I mean, there's the only thing that I can't. What really puts like the exclamation point on this whole topic is just that the fact that for the second time ever in NFL history, we had a team not score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Second only to I think they said the 71 Dolphins.
Yeah, in that game they scored didn't they score 10 fucking field goals in that or something?
That, yeah. But no touchdowns.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking through all the scores. The last time there was a single digit team was the Broncos with 8 in 2014. Right. And
which was also a shitty Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then prior to that was 2001 where the Giants scored 7 and the Ravens got 34. That was like it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. There's going to be some people who look at that and say, well, at least this game was exciting at the end, which, yeah, it was, except that 95% of the entire game was completely anemic and totally flat.
Yeah. It wasn't exciting at the end, though. I didn't find it exciting because I knew nothing was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are the Rams going to do? Like, oh, here they come out of nowhere.
I'm not saying it was exciting, but I'm just saying some people I've talked to have said that, like, well, at least the end of the game was good. It's like, okay. The ends don't justify the means here, and the end wasn't even that great.
It's like there's a difference when there's like when Tom Brady got the ball against Kansas City, you're like, oh shit, they're gonna score. Like there were years like with Aaron Rodgers where I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna score here. But like this year, I was like, oh yeah, this game's over. And it's kind of like at the Rams where I'm like, all right, they're not gonna do anything. Like, kidding me?
Well, like the other thing too is that like leading up to this is another reason why the Saints should have been in the Super Bowl. But was there any storyline, like even one that you guys heard outside of like, hey, Tom Brady could win 6?
Tom Brady playing against the Rams again, first team he beat in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, like that's like every Super Bowl, there's always like these fun, interesting storylines with cool characters and stuff, but like, it's just like,
With the hipping and the bopping.
Because you said the stadium was not alive, and I agree. And that was partially the game, but I think it was also partially that people were feeling similarly to everyone at home. Like, if you're a new, this was not only a bad game, but this, as a neutral fan, like with none of us except for Bear, obviously, we're rooting for either team. This might have been like one of the worst matchups ever. It's either the team that literally everyone hates outside of Boston, or the team that has maybe 4 fans. Like that's just moved and no one's really like LA's not really a football city yet. Like it's just, or anymore. It was an incredibly boring matchup, and important to note, we all were absolutely right in picking the Patriots, and so was like pretty much everyone else in the world who ever made a pick. Everyone thought it was the Patriots, and guess what? The Patriots won.
Yeah.
It was just like, you knew what was going to happen. There was no story building up to it between two teams that you're either indifferent about or just deep down despise. It's just terrible. It's lose-lose all around. And then they didn't even play Sweet Victory.
Well, the thing, I want to clarify defense, because I feel like there's defense and then there's like defense. Because there's like, I'll compare it to like baseball a little bit. Like when there's a pitcher that's pitching really well, like throwing a perfect game or a one hitter, you're like, damn, dude, like he's shutting everyone down. Then there's like a pitcher not pitching that great, but the other team just can't hit the ball or do anything. And it felt like that, where it's like, I guess like they didn't even really play defense. It's just like overthrown passes, like not getting the ball off. Like maybe they get a sack or just like a bad read or something. It's just like, it's one thing if like, oh, sack, oh, picked off, or like setting up good field position with that interception. Like it's just like that, no, punt.
Yeah, there's defenses and then there's like exciting defenses, like the Ravens back in the Giants Super Bowl win.
Yeah, so it was
or loss, I should say.
Yeah, it was just so boring, and a lot of people I know watched the Super Bowl for like the first time too, which makes it even worse because you picked
my girlfriend
easily the worst. Yep, easily the worst Super Bowl.
Probably never going to get her to watch it again. We'll never have that opportunity. Thanks, NFL.
Like looking back on some, like last year had Eagles Patriots, like that was a good Super Bowl.
Great,
and the
Super
Eagles
Bowl.
won. Then we had Patriots Falcons, and even though the Patriots won, it was like a crazy comeback. So it's like,
you know what? Even though the Patriots won, and I fucking hate the Patriots, that was one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen. That was great.
It's entertaining.
Incredible. Yes.
I mean, as someone who doesn't like the Falcons, I was happy to see that.
And there was even like the one before that was Broncos Panthers. Like even that, even though it wasn't a great game, it was still like okay. Yeah, like, I wasn't bored. Patriots Seahawks. That was that last play. Run the ball. So that one was entertaining.
That one, that game. So to people like curious about how the Patriots are so good or whatever, I got 2 words for you: Bill motherfucking Belichick. Because I was watching some clip from one of the documentaries about Belichick. There's like 5 of them. And in that instance, in the big famous moment from that Super Bowl where they passed instead of run, the Patriots went to a goal line package with 3 corners. They had literally not run that play the entire year, but it's in the playbook, and all the players knew it, and they just went out and did it. They'd never fucking practiced on that play. Like they'd just never done that play the whole season, and they were just like, well, yep, this is the one. This is what we need actually right here, and it fucking worked. That's why they keep fucking winning, because everyone else in the league I see all the time, they're just like, all right, well, here's our plan, boys. We're gonna beat them with what we do best. I don't care what they do. We're just gonna do what we do. And guess what? You get fucking stomped because Bill Belichick's like, yeah, well, I picked up this guy. He's like 5'9", and he can run really fast in a diagonal. So he's just gonna beat you in this very specific coverage that I found. And it's just like, no one else fucking learns.
But, he just has the perfect like plug and play type of person. He's like, all right, here's my one guy that knows how to do this one thing for this one play, and they're like, wow, that guy's great.
I mean, again, I stress the point that no matter how you feel about the Patriots, I personally don't hate the Patriots. I don't root for them, but I don't hate them.
Yeah.
Monster.
Anyone who watches football and has a horse in the race every single season, no matter how you feel about the Patriots, would kill to have a Belichick Brady on their team.
Yeah.
I guarantee that everyone wants that combo. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I had a combo that was that good. Like, I really don't know how to handle that as a Bucks fan.
Yeah.
You know, again, say what you want about them. They get the job done. They're the best for a reason, and they really do deserve to win.
If only Bill Belichick was ever the head coach of the New York Jets. Oh, wait.
Speaking of the Jets, Coach, I heard that there is some sort of a new hiring over there, Coach.
Big news on this hire.
Big news.
We joked about Jim Bob Cooter going
James
to
Robert
like
Vagina.
And, he's not going to be their coach, but he will be their running backs coach.
Yeah. He is
So how do you feel about that one, Rob?
I'm be honest with you, like I'm sort of indifferent about it. I mean, I'm actually quite happy that we did pick up Jim Bob Cooter, only because his name is the greatest name I've ever heard on planet Earth.
I was just gonna say, can we just all take a minute to recognize the fact that out of the three of us here, the one that has a coach with the last name of Cooter is Rob, and that's perfect. So perfect for Rob.
It is magical and wonderful, and I'm very happy about that aspect of it. The thing is, like, he's not going to have a huge part of the offense. Like, he actually was like run out of town in Detroit. Like, people fucking hated him as the offensive coordinator. But luckily, he's just a running back coach, which is also weird because he has a history with quarterbacks, right? Like, I think before he was an OC, he was a QB coach. So I don't know, but that's what he's hired for, and now we got Jim Bob Cooter, baby.
For clarity, by the way, I'm not calling Rob a Cooter. By the way, just in case. I know people might take that way. I'm not referring to that. I'm saying that it's great that Rob has a coach with the last name of Cooter, because out of the three of us, that's the most just best scenario, being a Jets fan and being Rob.
Yes,
I think there's also a story where Dom Capers, the ex-Packers defensive coordinator, turned down an offer to become the Bengals DC, which you dodged a bullet there, Bengals, because that would have been a train wreck.
They keep doing that. Like, they dodged a bullet on Hugh Jackson, too. There were all the rumors that Hugh Jackson was going.
And apparently Jack Del Rio did the same. Like, why are they just going after all these old, washed-up coaches?
Probably the answer is who's the owner? Mike Brown?
Oh yeah, Mike Brown.
Probably him. That's the
yeah.
I think everyone in Cincinnati hates that guy.
Once.
Well, Del Rio didn't make a bad defensive coach, though.
True.
Yeah,
I definitely would have. Actually, I take that back. I would probably have Capers over Del Rio, just because Capers ran for was he the DC or one of the he was one of the defensive coaches for the Packers for a long time.
He was the DC when we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, shit, dude, he runs this crazy turnover defense, ball hawking. And then he went to the Texans. No, that was before he was with the Texans. Then he went to the Packers. And we fired him a year ago. He was our DC up until then. We were at the point where we were like, please just fire him. Everybody knows the defense. Everybody knows what we're going to do. We don't have the personnel to run what he wants to do. Like, back then, we had Woodson and, Tramon Williams, Nick Collins. Like, we had all these great players, and then they either got injured or aged or retired or whatever, and then we had just mediocrity, and he just would try to run his crazy defense with mediocre players, and it was just a shit show every time, and we were like, just get somebody else. So, finally, we fired him, and then our defense was okay last year. It's better than the offense, surprisingly.
That's another great example of, a guy who, a coach who's just like, all right, well, I have my system that I'm going to run, and it doesn't really matter who's on the team. I'm going to run this system.
Yeah.
And it's just you can't, it's clear, after 20 years of him shitting on everybody, clearly Bill Belichick's method is working, you know? It's just...
I mean, he's okay, I guess. Yeah, I actually didn't know that Capers. I thought that Capers went to Houston after the Packers.
No, it was before.
Yeah.
I And then I heard Greg Schiano will be the Patriots' new defensive coordinator, which don't know how that's going to work because I've heard he's kind of insane.
He is, and he's a total douchebag and should not be coaching at all.
Yeah,
I hated him. Out of all the coaches, man, like Greg Schiano was up there with Raheem Morris for the coaches that I've hated.
I heard on like the radio when I was listening, they were talking about Greg Schiano, and they were like, as a journalist from back then, and he was like, "Oh yeah, if you thought it was bad, think of that, and then think worse. That's how bad it was."
Yeah, Schiano's just a douche.
Well, he sounds perfect for the Patriots, really.
Yeah. So that's it. And then Matt Bryant got released by the Falcons.
Yeah.
Who is 44 years old. He wants to continue playing. He's still good. He made 20 of 21 field goals, 33 of 35 pats, and he missed a few games, but they're going to Giorgio Tavecchio, who played well replacing him, and he's only 28. And apparently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are looking at Matt Bryant.
Well, yeah, because he kicked for the Bucs for a long time. He was our kicker after Martin Gramatica retired.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. Matt Bryant was the main kicker for the Bucs because he was very beloved in Tampa because A, people were getting sick of Martin Gramatica's crap, and B, and this is a little bit of a somber note, but he lost his son to leukemia or something. It was their very young son. So he played. I think they may have played against the Packers that day. They played. It was a pretty important game. He played the day after his son died, and made like every single kick, and one of them was the game winner.
Yeah. Damn.
So he's very revealed and loved in Tampa. I liked him. I hated Martin Gramatica as well, but
I remember Martin Gramatica.
That won't surprise me if the Bucs pick him up, and I'd personally be fine with it. I mean, it's better than drafting a kicker for the second pick.
Martin Gramatica reminded me of like a small gremlin. And in a known fact here, Martin Gramatica was drafted in the 3rd round.
Oh my God!
Good kicker. He was a good kicker. I won't take that away from him, but he was also a complete clown. There's no reason if you make an extra point to jump up and down like you just won the lottery or the public experience. He did it, and for those of you who are younger fans, or maybe you don't know who Martin Gramatica is, I'm sure that you could probably just YouTube his name really quickly, add the word ridiculous to it, and see all of the overblown. It's the equivalent of like flopping in soccer, except turned on it like in a happy way. Like the dude injured him and his brother Bill. Both of them have injured their knees from jumping up and down after making a field goal.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's what it was. Bill Gramatica, he legit tore his ACL jumping up and down.
Yeah, that was it. That was it for Bill Gramatica. God. He was done.
Yeah,
it was from jumping up and down for a field goal that didn't matter. I'm not even. You can't make this stuff up. It was the most hilarious thing. He jumps up and down, does like kind of an air jumping jack, lands, and then he immediately crumples and grabs his knee. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That reminded me. That happened to a Lions player too. He like either knocked down a pass for Aaron Rodgers or sacked, or he did something, and then he like jumped up and down. He just fell over, and I was like, "Oh my God, did he really just tear his ACL?" And he did. That's like, wow.
Yeah, that's actually largely why the No Fun League did away with celebrations for a while, or at least what they claimed. Anyway, because people kept fucking injuring themselves doing stupid shit.
Yeah, now we have just. People taking selfies on the freaking people and all this crap.
And it's wonderful. And I love it. It's so good.
So that's the
Super Bowl
2018-19 season. The Patriots win again.
What an unceremonious ending, man.
Yeah. And like even just looking at the Super Bowl stats, 4 of the last 5 seasons have had the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they've won 3 of those.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane.
No, that's crazy. I mean, like this I think that the Patriots dynasty is one that we've never seen before in modern professional football. And one that I think is likely that we'll never see again in our lifetimes. Like, I legitimately don't think that this perfect storm of evil can ever come to pass again. Because it's just like, or at least in our lifetimes, because the thing is, like, the NFL, right, is it's the parity league.
Yeah.
It's the league where, you know, all the rules are specifically set out to make it so that it's even and like different teams win all the time. And the thing is, it does actually work that way for every other team except for the fucking Patriots. Like, one of the craziest stats is Tom Brady's been playing for fucking 20 years. He's been in 9 Super Bowls. 9! That's half his career. He was in the Super Bowl. That's insane. This is like something that we've ever seen. And that's, you know,
This is the type of thing that happens in like basketball, where like the Bulls in the 90s, the Lakers in the 2000s. Like, but that's like a very star-heavy sport. You can have like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like carry your team. While football is very team-oriented, and while you still have the quarterback, who's like the most important person, like you can still win without that. Like plenty of teams did it with just a mediocre quarterback, like Trent Dilfer or someone. So it's like, it's just that much harder, and there's that many more players you have to manage and control. And just the fact that they've done this so many times, even with the cap space and like aging and shit, like it's insane.
How can you say that and not mention Brad Johnson, coach?
Brad Johnson.
Dude,
never forget.
And the other thing with them is that, like, they not only they just like spit in the face of the parody, really, because they keep doing this. They keep going to the Super Bowl, and on almost every one of their teams, almost every one of their Super Bowl teams, they've got like what, 2-star names, 3 maybe, like on any given time. Like legitimately, like they play with the rest of the league's cast outs and then shit on them over and over again, and it's just you know, it's ridiculous.
The thing is, like, it makes it like, oh yeah, last 4 to 5 years. The thing is, when they don't make the Super Bowl, they're in the title game to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, they're that close every time. Like, oh, they lost to the Super Bowl winning team that year. They lost to the Steelers that year or something. Yeah. It's like, they're there every time. Every year, they're just right there, ready to go.
And, you know, what's funny, too, is, like, this is another one of those years where but I think especially more this year, where people were finally like, all right, it's time to cash in. Brady's done. I'm going to get so many clicks for this. Nope. Turns out, actually, Super Bowl winners. Yeah. Oh, the Patriots lost 2 games early in the season. That's the end? You think so? You really think so? Wait till the fucking playoffs, you stupid idiots.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? Talking about playoffs?
For off-season draft predictions, Coach, it's gonna be a long road to the next football game we get to watch. But I believe that we are doing the draft stream again.
We're gonna do a pre-draft show where we'll talk about the mock drafts up there. We'll probably get the NFL.com mock drafts, some other website mock drafts, compare them all, see where our teams are taken. And as sad as I feel for the Saints, hey, now we're picking 30 instead of 32. It's correct for that pick. So maybe even like package that up, move up, maybe get somebody. I don't even know.
Coach,
so we'll see.
Officially, we only have, and this might blow your mind a little bit, we only have 75 days, 7 hours, 11 minutes, and 48 seconds till the draft.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get that
It'll
countdown
be here faster
started.
than you know it. I mean, February short. So, I mean, that'll be over, and then March, and then we'll probably, when should we do the draft show? Probably like the end of March, early April or something.
Yeah, it should probably be in April. I'm guessing 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably
maybe
early
before
April.
the draft. The draft is on the 25th. So
honestly,
we
might want to go. We might want to go closer to the draft too, because
because
like at the end is when you get like that whirlwind of smoke screens and stories about who's moving where and what's going up. What's down.
They'll be like the Dolphins being like, we don't even want Kyler Murray. He's garbage. And they're on the phone like, how do we trade up? We need to get So that'll be fun. And then we'll live stream the actual draft, and then we'll do a post draft, and then we're
and we're gonna do like a free agency thing too. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll do a free agency one too.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not too late, right?
Hey, Bear.
Oh, hey.
I think
We're
I'm not too
finishing-
to gloat, right? I made it for the tail end of the show, right? So I can brag about my.
We'll give
my
you
football
20 seconds
squad.
to gloat. You got 20 seconds to gloat.
It's a sweet, sweet victory.
Yeah.
right.
The NFL robbed you of that experience, listeners. So there it is.
They
in
robbed
all of its
you.
glory.
They
They
did.
they sure did.
They really did.
Robbed it.
They really did. The sons of bitches.
Congrats, Bear. Congrats, Bear. We're all
Yes,
happy.
congrats. You have 6 now.
Yeah.
Got 1.
Feels
Yeah.
pretty good.
How's it feel to finally win a Super Bowl, Bear?
I'll tell you what. It's nice to see Tom Brady, underrated 199th pick out of Michigan. Unbelievable to finally see him up on that podium, man. It's a long time coming, but job well done by the whole team. This is one to remember, I'll tell you that much. This has certainly been a Super Bowl that we were participants in.
Thanks,
Yep.
Coach Bear.
Yeah, this Super Bowl did indeed happen.
I remember it
very
happening.
Yeah, I remember it too.
The thing with the Jets, when you're like, yeah, we got 1 Super Bowl, it's like, it's not even like a real Super Bowl. Like, 'cause
I know.
you didn't really
it's
get to watch it.
1968. Yeah, I don't get to experience that.
That's like when they'd be like, oh, the Packers won the first 2 Super Bowls. I'm like, that's neat, but
Right.
I remember the ones that we did win. Those were fun.
Yeah.
So I hope one day for you get to see that Jets suit Darnold holding up the trophy.
Thank you.
In his
I hope
10th
so,
year in the
too.
league, he finally gets that Super Bowl.
You know what? I'll take it. But also, by the way, Bear mentioned Tom Brady on the podium. Can we briefly talk about Tom Brady taking questions immediately after the game? Because that was fucking
God.
hilarious. Oh,
I don't want to even get too into it because I'm not nearly as mad about it now as I was in the moment. But can they have 5 minutes? Isn't that
just
Yeah.
a 5-minute recess.
fucking
Yeah, right?
hard to just keep the goddamn reporters on the side? 5 minutes. They won the Super Bowl. Their whole lives have culminated into this moment. I know the Patriots have been there before. Let's not feel too bad for Tom Brady, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's the worst it's ever been for the worst Super Bowl in recent memory. Come on, put some shit on the icing cake, why don't you?
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, it was hilarious because she came up to him, just like, Tom Brady, can I just ask you, Tom Brady, and he's just like, yeah, hold on, and then
Yep. And then she started getting squished by everybody.
she's like, no, I got him. Tom Brady, can I get Tom Brady?
If people don't recognize by this point, by the way, that Tom Brady has the patience of a goddamn saint, of a New Orleans saint, it's absurd the things these people will do. But I don't even feel like I have to feel a lot of pity for the reporters because they are all doing their job. All of their jobs are dependent upon getting that shot. We all understand that, right?
Yeah.
If they don't get that shot,
Of course.
they're screwed. So
But
There's
you're
that
right.
part
It's
of it.
on the NFL. It's not on the.
it's on the
report.
NFL 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What did that guy say? That he's like, Jesus, you all right? Or like, what was that?
Yeah,
guy
someone
say?
got fucking trampled. It was ridiculous.
Well, they sent in I don't know what the hell they were doing. They sent in their tiniest reporter. That poor woman was she's
They had
half the height of
dudes at least
everyone.
flanking her left and right, didn't they? That were
Yeah, to try to protect her, but she was still getting bashed around like she was in a mosh pit down there.
oh, it was absurd, man. I'm glad y'all gave me a moment to talk about that. Yeah.
Well, I tweeted out. I was like, "What is so important that we just have to have the reporters there as soon as the game ends? The players haven't even congratulated
They
each
haven't
other.
even processed the
Yeah.
fucking moment
They've
yet.
got a group. They have a group of reporters, all this equipment, all these cameras around them. Give the players just a second to relish it. Live, bask inside of the glow of winning the hardest game in all of sports to get to anyway.
And
If that gets worse, I'm going to have a hard time supporting this damn league in the future. And that's from a guy who's been in 50% of the fucking Super Bowls in the last 20 years. It's ridiculous.
It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you can't. I don't understand why they do that.
not only just that, but they have to rush in there to get in as quick as possible, and then they have to be the first one to ask, Tom Brady, how did it feel when you threw a pass? Oh, it felt pretty good.
Yeah, that's most generic shit.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, you know what questions they're gonna ask at this point. It's fucking predictable.
Like, you really need to be the first one there to hear him say, I enjoyed throwing the pass to win the game. Like,
I'm pretty sure that like I heard either Brady or somebody from the Patriots like, I got to do this first, and it was just to talk to Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And then
it was
and
someone
then
on
the most obnoxious thing was Brady trying to get over to Edelman so they could embrace from winning the Super Bowl, knowing that Edelman was probably going to get the MVP, and he had to move reporters from in between them. They were less than 5 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were at least 3 people between them too. It was a sea of people. It looked like Times Square in the middle of like a fucking. Well, Rob, you know how things are in Times Square, right? I'm sure you can relate to that.
Horrible place.
Is that Mickey Mouse? Yeah, give me money.
Yeah. But congrats, Bear.
That doesn't sound like Mickey Mouse.
We're all happy for you, except possibly Rob. And,
okay, so like I gotta get this off my chest too because I genuinely feel bad about it. I'm good. That's enough. That's enough. I am serious. I am dead fucking serious. I'm good. Any more is like, okay, come on, guys. Stop it. You're being
Give
mean.
the others
Let
some
other
chances.
teams win. I'm not joking. I know how shitty it is. I really do. I hear the words coming out of my mouth and how like all the shit that's just spewing out of my face is so gross. But it's okay. That's enough. He got 6. He's the greatest of all time, and that's good. You want 7? Are you serious? Really?
all right. Well, I take my congrats back. I don't.
Well, I mean, the Browns and the Chiefs are going to be playing the
Browns.
championship
Go
next
Browns,
year, right?
dude. Yeah,
Go
I got a
Browns.
secondary team now at least, so that's good.
Who will play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the Super Bowl? It's going to be a hard-fought battle, but I think it'll be Browns-Packers, honestly.
I think you mean Jets?
I'm pretty sure. Nobody's
Great.
beating Jets, I don't think.
Yeah.
He thinks the
Final
Patriots won't win the division again.
Oh man, okay.
It'll
so
probably
let's-
be the Patriots.
just to process that real quick aloud on the show then too. Like having said what I just said, we are probably going to win the division again. Then probably make the playoffs
Absolutely
again next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll just lose to
I'm-
the Browns.
I'm gonna be honest with you. There is about as close as you can get to a 100% chance that
Yeah.
if any, this has been the reality as a Jets fan that every Jets fan has to come to accept.
Dude, I'm starting to toe the line over onto your side. I'm like, all right, come on, Tom.
Because it's not, because the thing is, like, it like other divisions don't understand. Like, you can have a villain in a division and that you would hate, and I understand, but they're never as dominant as fucking Tom Brady and the fucking Patriots. There's one reality that Jets fans, Dolphins fans, and Bills fans all understand, which is our team might actually get good. Like right now, I'm pretty hopeful about the Jets. But as long as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are up there in New England, we will not be winning the division. We will be going through the wild card. It is a guarantee. That will always fucking happen. There's nothing that you can do about it. They will do that.
You'll always have 2011.
That was great. I did enjoy that. Yeah, sending Tom Brady home was wonderful. And another reason that I still love Rex, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, good job, Bear.
Yep. Good job.
Thank you. I just came on for compliments. Yeah, thank you. Please keep them coming.
I personally don't feel that the Bucks will be there in a long time, Coach. Which is why I'm switching to the Browns as my main, not my main team, but like my main hope. They're gonna be the ones who I'm rooting for to get to the playoffs.
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Go Browns.
I was just looking at some of these teams. There's always a team that comes out of nowhere and then, kind of shocks people. Like the NFC was the Bears, I want to say. AFC, maybe the Chiefs. Chargers were up. The Colts, I'd probably say. or one of the biggest ones. No, not the Jets. So I'm just trying to think next year who could be that team. Like maybe the Jaguars will rebound if they get a quarterback. Not the Jets. I mean, you never know.
It's weird. There's a team on this list called Not the Jets. It's strange to be specified it that much.
No, legit.
Panthers
Like
get something,
the teams I think that you should be looking at as far as that, as far as like who's going to be the breakout team next year is look at the money, and I would say like guys in the top 3 right now of the money, which is the Jets, the Browns. And honestly, I think the big breakout team that's going to happen next year is the Colts. Because I tell you what, they got the money and they're already a playoff team. Like they have I think top 5 most cap room in the league. Like
they do. Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, if you're a free agent, why would you ever go anywhere besides Indy right now? They're already a playoff team and they don't have anybody.
It's like looking through. It's like you want to go to the Raiders, the Bills, the Jets, the Colts. It could be that. Well, even the Browns.
Yeah, exactly.
Browns have the 3rd highest.
Rob, it was so strange when you were saying that. You remember like several weeks ago when we were doing some pick'ems and I told you that you were saying something about a certain team winning, and then in my brain it was telling me like the Broncos are going to win, the Broncos are going to win, the Broncos are going to win. It was like 100% gut feeling I got in that moment.
Yeah,
I just got that same feeling when you were talking about the Colts' chances of victory next year, but it was telling me that the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good bet. I'm gonna be honest. It's probably gonna be the Pats in the Super Bowl against an NFC team.
I have some fun cap space facts for all of you. So we know the top cap rooms. Do we know the bottom cap rooms? Because some of these are like, ooh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Eagles have the worst. Then the Jaguars are second worst, which is not
they were good.
Them.
Remember?
They were good. Then they got bortled. And no wide receivers. Vikings 3rd, Bears 4th, and the Buccaneers with the 5th worst cap space.
Thanks, Coach. Bucks really knowing how to improve their finances, cashing in on all those creamsicle uniforms we've been selling, and
they're so pretty though.
Yeah, I look forward to speaking about the playoffs realistically with you guys in the 2027 season of our podcast.
Hey, I think that might be when the Jets are going up against you in the Super Bowl.
True.
Could be.
Brady might actually be done by then, hopefully.
I'm gonna tell you guys straight up.
Oh my God, do you think he's really still going to be playing in 2027?
Oh my God, if he is.
I think there's a good chance. I'll be honest with you.
I ain't gonna bet against it, Bear.
Yeah, at this point, man, I can't say these.
Jesus Christ.
But hey, I'm. This is me straight up right now, and you'll all laugh. The Jets have a legitimate shot next year.
God damn it, Rob.
I'm being honest. We have the 2nd most cap room in the league. We have to see what happens in free agency in the draft.
I mean, you got a chance to go 8-8. I'll give you that.
I mean, this is a chance to turn it around. But I mean, it is also.
I'm glad I hopped in. This has been good for a laugh. I mean, boost.
You know what? You'll all be laughing next year.
Remember at the start of the season where the Jets beat the Lions and Rob was like, guys, I think we might be making the playoff.
Kirk Cousins is good.
All right, Kirk Cousins is good though. So,
oh my God,
good.
I can't laugh anymore. Please stop. All right.
Drew Brees is underrated.
Well, I think we're
He didn't get the MVP. I'm so mad. I know nobody holds the same fucking argument I do about it, but he deserved it.
Thanks for
I did
supporting
not
us
feel
all
it.
season, everyone. I'm glad
Thanks for
that
supporting us.
everyone's been enjoying and listening to the podcast, and even more so glad that we've gotten people actually into American football who
a lot of people
would not have who would normally not have been here. So
It's
just remember
fun.
to root for the team of destiny, the only team you should care about in the NFL. The Cleveland Browns. Go
the
Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Go Browns!
There you go.
Beautiful.
Hopefully that won't get us
Yep.
demonetized.
You have to cut that right now. Copyright strike.
We can't
that out.
We can't post this one now. Thank you, Bear.
Yep, thank you very much. That's gonna be taken down.
Happy 2019, everyone.
Happy 2019.
By the way, AAF football starting on Saturday.
Yeah,
which might be when this podcast is up. So
When's the XFL start?
Never,
year?
but the AAF is something I'm going to be watching.
I'm gonna watch it too. Yeah,
They've got big time sponsors too. It's going to be on TV. It's going to be great.
CBS. I actually no, like legit. Like I looked through the uniforms. I was like, you know what? I'm a San Diego Fleet fan. How about that?
Wait, what is this AAF? Alliance of American Football?
Yeah, dude. It's like a full thing. They removed kicking pretty much, and that's the main change. And it's it's like a sub league.
It's the discount redheaded stepchild lesbian cousin of the NFL, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm going to be watching. I'm watching this Saturday.
I am too. I'm unironically excited.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what team I'm gonna
involved with it, but I guess if you want to go that route.
I don't know
Go
what
look at
team
the
I'd
uni-
cheer for.
That's what I did. I went for the uniforms, and I was like, I'll take this guy.
Yeah, I'll probably just do that too. Screw it. Orlando looks kind of cool. I like
Guess
their
who's,
bow and arrow helmet.
Well, I mean, we all have to have like differing teams, though.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
we gotta have different teams.
All right, hang on. I'll pick a team right now.
So Rob
Okay.
claimed San Diego. Hang on, I gotta find.
I like the San Diego
All right.
Fleet uniforms. Although I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I might just change after this weekend depending on who has the best passing
See, you
attack.
can't do that, Rob.
Hey,
You're already gonna be fair weathering it.
I am a fan of the Jets. I deserve one good team to root for. One.
Oh, I think I
going-
gotta go for the Salt Lake Stallions. Actually, I gotta go with
Very
the
nice.
Those are pretty dope looking. Yeah.
I'm going with Birmingham Iron just because it's metal.
That's pretty
Okay.
good. Yeah,
that's
I like
that's
that.
pretty good.
Uh,
Go
Brendo.
Birmingham. never thought I'd ever see that.
Go Birmingham!
Go Birmingham.
Go Birmingham!
It sounded really weird when it came out of your mouth. I was like, okay,
Holy
you say
shit!
so.
The running back for the Birmingham team is Trent Richardson.
Yeah, dude.
What the shit?
By the way, guess who's playing QB for Memphis Express?
Who?
Christian Hackenberg.
No way.
Oh,
No way.
I
it's
have
on.
actual investment in this.
Oh, it's on. It's on Saturday. It is.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
like the actual minor leagues for football.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, not this Saturday. Next Saturday, obviously. If people are listening,
Yeah.
thinking it's going to be tomorrow, it's not. It's next.
Wait, is it not tomorrow? I thought it was tomorrow.
Mike Singletary's the coach of Memphis?
Yeah.
This is
And-
legit. Oh my
Oh, yeah,
god.
it is.
Mike
Tomorrow.
Martz is coaching in
actually,
San Diego, I think too.
Actually, yeah,
Oh.
Rob, you are right. It actually is 10th. Sorry.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. It comes out the first day.
God
First day
damn.
games. So
Yeah, I'll watch this. Screw it. This seems
Yeah.
all right.
I'm watching it.
Let's go.
Let's
All
stream
right.
it. Let's just stream it.
Let's-
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Fuck them.
They're not the NFL. They go.
All right, guys. You
Don't
make
need their
that.
express written consent.
By the
You
way,
may
we're
make it
announcing
an
our
AAF.
new we're announcing our new podcast that's going to happen in the off season
Yeah.
called the Alliance of American Football Guys.
The official of Alliance.
Yeah.
Well, see, if you guys wanna watch
it's the
this.
Alpaca Alliance Alpha Football.
Yes,
It's
exactly,
the AA,
yeah.
the triple A.
if it's actually decent, we might actually talk about it. All right.
Yeah,
So-
I actually wouldn't be opposed, honestly.
Yeah, screw it. All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening and watching or whatever you're doing. And
Go
we'll see ya.
Stallions.
Go Birmingham.
Go-
Birmingham.
God, what
Go
was Orlando? To go. Hold on,
You have
Orlando.
to choose.
I did. I forgot the Orlando's team name already. Apollos.
Oh,
Go
the
Apollos.
The Apollos.
Yeah. Woo. And yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon talking about some sort of football thing. So
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
na, na.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bye.
Used all my
Goodbye.
strength not to play the SpongeBob clip again.
all right, we got to cut it for the copyright.